Got less than a month until test day? This video's for you. I'm Erika with Target Test Prep, and today I want to share 3 ways to improve your SAT score fast. And I'm going to do it by sharing 3 real stories from 3 of my real students. Let's jump in. The first way to improve your SAT score fast is to land on a timing strategy that works. This is a good one for you if you ever find yourself rushing at the end of a module, or worse, not finishing a module. With the super short modules on the SAT, getting even a couple additional questions wrong, whether because you rushed through them or didn't get to them at all, can be hugely impactful to your score. Now, this is especially true on the first module in a given section, where one additional wrong question can resign you to a lower difficulty second module and thus a lower potential score range. But the flip side of that is that addressing your timing issues can radically improve your score. Now, there are a lot of time management strategies, but at the core of all of them is strategically moving on. So on the SAT, this means identifying when you're spinning your wheels on a problem, marking for review, putting in a guess as quickly as possible, and instead investing your time in questions you are more likely to get correct. Now, once you've given all the questions in a module a fair shake, then you can use review to revisit any of the questions you marked, at which point you may unlock a new insight and get the question right, or you may still get it wrong, but at least without having sacrificed any additional questions to the cause. My example student for this one came to me with a pretty average test score. As I always do in my first session with students, we started with diagnosing his most recent practice test, where it quickly became clear that while he had extremely high accuracy on the questions he was completing, he was not completing all of the questions in each section. We spent the rest of the session talking about the test algorithm and various time management strategies, and I sent him home with the directive to do 5 to 10 question timed practice sets to get a feel for the exam's pace, and then to take another practice test with the goal of keeping his timing on track and finishing each part on time. We met 2 weeks later, and he shared with me a practice test score that was 20 percentile points higher. 20! In 2 weeks! There is nothing else that can bump your score this dramatically, this quickly. So if timing is an issue for you, it should be priority number 1 to address. The second way to improve your score fast is to address a single content area. If you're just a month out from your test day, there simply isn't enough time to learn everything on the test. But while you can't learn everything in a month, you can learn one thing. Now, for this to make a significant difference to your score, it can't just be any one thing. It has to be a particular area of weakness. This means that the content area you focus on should include some of the easiest questions you're getting wrong. Now, part of the reason for this is that the easiest concepts you're struggling with are typically the simplest to address. But additionally, unless you are getting the harder second module 100% of the time, it's the easier questions in the first module that are most limiting your score. The example student here already had a top quartile score, but she really wanted to be in the top 10 percentile range. We had 3 tutoring sessions total. In the first one, we reviewed her most recent practice tests and identified that she was consistently getting a very specific type of math problem wrong. Think probability or trigonometry, so always appears but not super frequently and requires some specialized knowledge. We finished the session with a quick primer on the basics, and I sent her home with some more materials and some relevant practice problems. In the second session, we reviewed the problems she worked on, talked through her mistakes, and got into some of the complexities of the subject matter. I sent her home with some more problems and a practice test. In the third session, she came in with a 98th percentile practice test score. She ended up with a 99th percentile score on test day. One content area can make or break your score, especially at the upper end of the score range. So while a month is not enough time to learn everything, focusing your attention on the right one thing can yield huge results before test day. The third way to improve your score fast is to make a personalized strategy guide. I recommend this to literally all of my students, regardless of their score goals or how close they are to them. I'll jump straight into the example with this one. This example student came to me having taken his test 5 times. Not practice tests, the real thing. 5 times. He'd gone through multiple books of practice questions multiple times and plateaued with a below average test score. Deadlines were coming up and we didn't have long until his next attempt, so we really only made one change. We started an error log. For each problem he got wrong, I encouraged him to carefully consider and write down what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how he could identify the issue and avoid it the next time it came up. He error logged his most recent practice test and continued to error log the customized practice I assigned over the next few weeks. Before test day, I had him go through the how column of his error log and pick out the top 10 to 20 things that came up the most and use them to create a perfectly personalized strategy guide for him to review. He reached out to me after his 6th and final test attempt, having broken through his plateau and reached his score goal. Just like any content you learn close to your test day should be based on your performance, any strategies you focus on implementing and internalizing should be personal as well. Error logging is an extremely powerful tool for customizing your whole study process, and turning your takeaways into a unique strategy guide before test day helps you synthesize all of that prep and turn it into action when it matters most. Like this video if it helped you, and subscribe for more expert advice from Target Test Prep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.